time. It'll be sort of nice, but also sort of troll. And here we go, flaafykins.
Bottle and a map of Hyrule
Castle map. Oh, it's so useful.
At least it's in the same dungeon? Question mark.
And the golden bee in the bottle, which is pretty nice. We'll see whether flaafykins opts to do something like sell that to the bottle vendor. So
And
here we go.
Twofer.
We've got the two slightly divergent routes right at the beginning. Usually going to be a wash in the end. flaafykins opts to kill the guard, check the tree pull. It's just hearts. Stinger doing a very similar thing on this cucumber here.
Also getting hearts, of course. Why would it be any different? We get to see the crab, so that's the crab. Hey, bombs.
That is very, very useful. Fluffy is also going to be very happy to pick up that heart container from Uncle. That's going to be pretty nice. Just a little bit of extra life and safety early on, and a heart piece as well.
You know, Uncle just loves Link. It's just want to spread his heart around to all of Link.
Well, now he doesn't have it anymore, so rip.
Well, that was kind of rude of Link then.
So the Lumberjack Cave check from StingerPA, the item that you need to defeat Aghanim to get access to, and it only turns out to be a big 20, so that will not matter to either of the runners today. They may need to do Aga, who knows, but not for that item.
Nope, Stinger taking a quick pit stop to get some more bombs and picking up a big 20. Red rupee for hopefully enough to afford the bottle merchant.
You know, I gotta say that the crab enemy dropping the bombs is incredibly, incredibly handy. It's really uncommon to get that early on, so it just, you don't have to worry about even buying anything from Kakariko.
Yep, and with two of them on the way, it's almost pretty much guaranteed if he's wanted to spend the time to get all 10 bombs. And it's surely worth it.
Yep, so Fluffy's following along the same route Stinger just went. Stinger heading into Kakariko Village. We're going to see all the good stuff here, the Thieves' Hut, the well. We're going to see the Chicken Hut. Probably see the bottle vendor, depending on whether he gets some rupee drops here. We'll see.
It'll be interesting to see what's on the sick kid, though, because Fluffy's coming in with a bottle while Stinger does not.
That's a good point. That when he decides to route that back in could matter a lot. He accidentally throws the bomb the wrong direction, but fortunately it does not matter at all because he's got 8 additional bombs, so he'll be fine. There's 300 rupees, so he will be able to check that bottle.
A hook shot.
Oh, baby. And a compass. Of course, we don't particularly care for compasses.
And the early bow. That's a very interesting find. I seem to find that you either find bow in Kakariko or you don't find bow until you're basically done.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case. It's very often that late item. You never know when you're going to get it. So in this case, it's going to be very nice. Now we'll see whether they actually get the big key to Eastern Palace, for example, to be able to finish that dungeon.
Yeah.
Alright, the well check's coming up for Stinger. Got a bomb upgrade from the first one. Second one giving a piece of heart.
Gotta be getting close to 4 of those by now.
More compasses. 100 more rupees. Oh baby, the Hera basement key.
Well, if they want to go to the file room, they can now do it.
Yay!
And the bottle merchant with the key to Ganon's tower, which is generally not very useful.
Yeah, we're gonna hope that neither runner has to care about those Ganon's tower small keys, but we'll see. Alright, Chicken House for Stinger. Another small key. Pod this time. One of the 6 available for that dungeon. So, number of small keys coming out of Kakariko here. None of them really giving us anything yet, but potentially soon.
Definitely some value out of Kakariko so far today, but nothing immediately useful. Hookshot and bow by themselves doesn't get our runners anywhere.
Yeah, but it will get them at least, for example, Mini Moldorm Cave off to the east will be substantially easier between the bow and the hookshot. And that is an ice rod on the bookshelf there, so we'll find out whether that's important depending on Turtle Rock being in the being a crystal or not.
Oh boy, I wonder how late we're gonna find boots this scene.
Well, I just got back from watching the other race on Speed Gaming 3, and that one unfortunately was a bootsless seed. Let's hope this one does not go bootsless. I know both runners will certainly want to have that. Just an arrow upgrade in the maze game, and flaafykins should be stopping by the sick kid momentarily as Stinger saves and quits back to the house, so he'll get these items that he did not get before.
Just some love. It's not a huge loss, but definitely would have been useful since Stinger's now sitting on 3 hearts to Fluffy's 6.
Yeah, and he's also not heading to the uncle first, so he won't even get that heart container. He'll be doing the dam and mini Moldorm Cave, but fortunately, these shouldn't be too big of a deal since he does have that hook shot. So right about now, we're just kind of traipsing through the early game, making sure that we cover all these locations in the light world that don't really have any requirements to get to them. Obviously, oh hey, big key from draining the dam.
Swamp. One of the less useful big keys. But of a good position, I appreciate that position for it.
That's true. Even if they'd put off dam until later, when they entered swamp later on, they would have gotten it. Presuming that they do enter swamp, we'll see.
Okay, let's see where Fluffy's going. Going down the South Shore as well. Yep.
Very nice job by Stinger with the hook shot there. Very quick mini Moldorm Cave for him. And what are we going to get?
Hey, there's a heart. I have a flute. More heart. That's a lot of early hearts to see. Hey, and a weapon.
That is a very nice early sword. Only 7 minutes in. Fluffy will be getting that shortly as well. So they'll both be very happy about that. And Stinger opts to skip Ice Rod Cave for now. This probably is because he's got that flute. He's going to go activate it, and then he can just flute to 8 anytime to check it out.
Fluffy, unfortunately, missing the little clip there with the hook shot to get that chest.
Yeah, which unfortunately for her is just a big 20. But not a huge time loss or anything, just a quick trip back inside the dam to get it. So right now, difference between the two runners, Fluffy just not having gone to the uncle already and not having completed mini Moldorm Cave, and Stinger having done that, he's going to activate his flute, but he's not gone to uncle yet. He does have a weapon now, so he'll probably also do escape when he does that.
So we have some swag duck anthems happening here.
A little bit of troll by that mini Moldorm for Fluffy, but she's able to take it out and collect her flute and sword.
Convenient for Stinger to get the flute there too, as he leads him back to get that sick kid turned in. Okay, Fluffy, I imagine, will also be heading up to turn the flute in. And this also does grant access to Death Mountain.
Yep, which Stinger is taking advantage of right now, and he's also doing a little bit of a sequence break here. This is the Old Man Cave. You don't have light in here if you don't have the lamp, but Stinger doesn't really care because he's got a sword, so he can follow the little sparklies to know where he's going in here.
Yep, and with the hook shot, that leaves Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave open as well, so that's another 8 items on Death Mountain.
As well as the chance to get something like the Hammer or Mirror, which will then enable access to Hera potentially for another couple items. And oh, hey, there's some flips.
So Flips is hiding behind the lamp somewhere. Or rather, sequentially.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Stinger handles that that knowledge. Presumably, he'll be keeping track of the fact that he obtained that through a sequence break. He'll have in the back of his mind, the lamp must have been somewhere to be able to get this. So where might that have been? I'm gonna laugh if it's right here.
I was just thinking the same thing. Nope, just bombs.
Just bombs. Alright, so flaafykins opts to flute directly to H. He's just going to get Ice Rod Cave out of the way right now. Not really a bad play, like there's no significant time difference from doing this now versus later, unless you get the boots, but even then, it's just good to have it out of the way and have that knowledge.
Heck, it could be that lamp.
That's true. And depending on how confident Fluffy is in her dark rooms, this could be very nice if it were something like that. We'll find out momentarily. Oh, well.
It's a big key.
Oh.
Okay, Thieves Town's very useful, so once they get Dark World access, they'll be able to complete most of Thieves Town.
Yeah, that is definitely an item that you'll be very happy to have.
Meanwhile, Stinger's checking out Paradox Cave while Fluffy heads to get her own flippers. There's the Moon Pearl.
Alright, so that's 1 out of 3 for Dark World access. What else is here? Piece of heart. And
the lamp. Well, that wasn't very long for flippers to be out of sequence.
We do see Fluffy also doing the dark old man, so no problem on her side either. Pretty straightforward cave to deal with.
Looks like Stinger had a pretty decent bomb jump there. It's definitely nice being up on Death Mountain with how healthy this seed's been so far. Cabbages don't make quite as much impact when it's only 1 heart out of 8 instead of 1 heart out of 3.
And now we get the enjoyable walk of shame through Spiral Cave. Regrettably, with no boots, you just kind of gotta hoof it. Meanwhile, Fluffy on the right, following close behind, doing pretty much the same stuff. Again, really the only difference is that Fluffy has already checked Uncle and the Hyrule Castle front entrance thing, whereas Stinger has not done so. Or side entrance, secret access thing, stuff. I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
the Uncle. It's the Uncle spot.
That thing. There's 2 things there. Which Stinger is now heading to.
Yep, and now flaafykins does have that Thieves Town big key over Stinger as well, having checked the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, it's one of those single locations that you're going to kind of say, I'll get to it. And hopefully you will get to it sooner rather than later in this case, because that big key presumably will be required. We don't know whether or not it's a crystal because this is Keysanity. They won't find out until they obtain the map and are able to check that in the Dark World. Or beat the dungeon.
Correct.
Alright, so Fluffy acquiring that lamp and Moon Pearl. Again, 1 out of 3 items needed for access to the Dark World, either both gloves or glove and a hammer. We'll see if Stinger picks up any of those other ones in the escape here.
So Fluffy's gonna go up and attempt the bomb jump herself. Looks good. Oh yeah. Okay, so we can see some new chests down in the escape now on Stinger's side. Well, Zora money attained. And then some. Lucky 7s and everything. Okay, Stinger working his way through while Fluffy finishes up the Spiral Cave walk.
Have you seen Fluffy's menu lately? we're getting chatter in chat that Fluffy may not have the bow.
Did she not get the bow? I mean, it was in Kakariko, right?
That's correct. It was in the bomb wall in the back of Thieves' Hut. And she did not acquire it, so she did not bomb that wall. That is a very unfortunate omission that we're going to hope that she's going to remember that location eventually. But right now, that is potentially very, very scary for her, as who knows when she'll remember to go back there.
That's a spot you just assume that you would have already done.
Alright, Stinger appearing to not find anything particularly valuable in the front part of the escape. He's going to head to the back. We're told from chat that she did bomb that wall, and then she just did not actually collect the item, which might even be worse in terms of your mental model for whether you got it or not.
Yeah.
I guess it's impossible to speculate, so all we can say is that we know she hasn't got it. Possibly she's using a location tracker on whatever tracker she's using, which would make things slightly easier unless, human error occurred. But hopefully that is not going to be a deciding factor in this match. Meanwhile, Stinger picking up Ice Palace, big key, yeah.
Again, doesn't really open up anything, but yeah, we'll have to track the situation for Fluffy. See how when that bow starts coming into play, and because if that ends up being like a limiting factor, then she'll probably more find it sooner than later. But if that doesn't, then this could be a very long steep for her.
Yeah, and just to confirm again, in case you're not totally familiar with the randomizer and what you actually need to finish the game, bow is a strictly required item. You cannot finish Ganon's Tower without it. So even if Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness were both pendants, that would not matter. The bow will still be required. So in the meantime, we do see Stinger heading over with the flippers to do some of these water-based checks, and he gets the power glove from the hobo, so that's pretty convenient. And he sets up a proper reverse fake flippers while having the flippers. Good job.
Always might as well practice it. Besides, jumping down from there gets you off the screen faster, right? Something like that.
Something like that. So Stinger will also take the Whirlpool portal to get up to the Zora area. He has enough money to actually buy Zora's item, and he can also check the Waterfall Ferry here and the ledge item if it turns out to be useful.
Oh, and there's our Dark World access. The Mitts is in today.
So that should rule out Aghanim entirely as being required. The chests inside the tower may be required. Oh, there's a big key on the ledge. But it should not be required to actually fight Aga, as they do have access to all parts of the Dark World now.
Correct. It looks like Fluffy is going to be following once again in Stinger's footsteps, getting both the glove and the mitt. We'll see what she does after getting the gloves here.
Zora cops up his entire heart. Noble sacrifice on his behalf to, bolster the strength of the hero of Hyrule.
Hey, you got 500 rupees out of that. That wasn't a sacrifice. That was a business deal.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be alive very long to use that money, and that is the big key of Ganon's Tower. So.
Oh my. Well, that's good to have.
So Zora himself not having the value, but the Zora area having it. Fluffy picks up the glove and opts to flute back to 8 instead of swimming back around. I'm actually not sure whether this is faster or not, but it seems like it could be, so sure, why not?
I would guess yes, so good play.
Yeah, it's swim
and
back.
Using the damage boost over the walking. That's optimization right there.
Yes, very clearly intentional.
Clearly. I might incorporate it in my run.
Alright, so Stinger in the back of Escape getting the book, 10 arrows, his first arrows for his bow, and 50 rupees, and we'll probably see him head out to the Dark World now via the Kakariko portal.
Yeah, that does open up Mire area as well, so both desert and the Mire area is available to be gotten into and checked out.
That's a good point. It looks like Stinger's opting not to go there just yet, as they don't have the mirrors, so it's a little more inconvenient to explore that location, and you can't get access to Checkerboard Cave.
No big keys or anything either, so not too many places you can actually check.
In fact, it's good to mention that Stinger does not even have that Thieves Town big key, so he's not going to be able to do that dungeon while he's here if he wanted to. And he does appear to be starting with Village.
You will likely only see him check the first 4 chests in there, if at all. Flaafy getting her Ganon's Tower key.
Yeah, so their progression is very, very similar, with Flaafy being just a few steps behind Stinger, but having that Thieves Town big key. Oh, and the map check from Stinger. Swamp is a pendant, Pod is a crystal. That's all we know so far. But Fluffy just being a few steps behind and having almost all the same items, lacking the bow. That is potentially a very scary thing for later in this match.
One of our 4 Childerock small keys coming from Stinger's side. 3 are required to finish the dungeon, but the 4th lets you check an extra chest where the big key is normally at. A source of much frustration for many people when something happens to be in that one.
That is the worst chest, dude. It's so bad.
Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of divergence now, though. Fluffy's going up to check the Skullwoods chests.
Yeah, I often feel like this is kind of a toss-up when you enter the Dark World via Kakariko for the first time. You can either go to Thieves Town or you can go to Skullwoods, and either one's pretty valid. There's a lot of locations to check. First locations in both these places, though, not proving very valuable. And then there's Half Magic for Fluffy, so that's pretty nice. And a key for Stinger to Skullwoods.
To slightly more efficiently go through this Skullwoods here.
Yeah.
2 hearts, though. There we go, she's fine.
Yeah, the 1 extra bonus heart from that skull makes it a little bit safer. Oh, she's trying to pick up that skull, but unfortunately you can't from that particular spot. But she manages to make it out. 3 hearts means she could have taken 1 more hit to those Gibdos.
It's our second pod key.
300 rupees for Stinger here.
And
the last chest available. It's just an arrow upgrade. Alright, to note, Fluffy did opt not to go over to the vanilla big key chest of Skull. She's going to leave that for later. Now, that chest is available in the logic right now, so she might be leaving behind something that's needed, but it's also very slow to get. So it's a calculated gamble here. Also rocking 1 heart walking around the Dark World. That's pretty terrifying when you only have green mail.
Yeah, fortunately she can dip into Thieves Town and do a quick death warp for some hearts back.
Alright, so Stinger, continuing to blaze a little new ground here, is going to check the digging game. Check the digging game. It's just a big 20. It also seems like Fluffy opted to go into Thieves Town before doing the chess game and the bombable hut. I think this is a really smart play on her part because of having only 1 heart, just to make sure that when this happens, if this happens, which it just did, she'll just respawn inside the dungeon, so it's not a huge time loss.
That's probably the ideal place to do it too, since she doesn't have to backtrack a bit. Well, you don't really want to do Thieves Town with 1 heart and no boots.
Or really at all, to be honest.
Or,
But unfortunately, it always has stuff.
A wise man once told me, always complete Thieves Town.
Freddy, are you hype for Hype Cave?
Not usually, but we'll see how this one goes.
Oh yeah.
Starting off strong. We get 2. Nope, just a map.
Oh yeah.
There's 2. And a heart.
Yes.
And 3. 3 big 20s.
Perfect. Oh my goodness. Stinger opting to save and quit. He will head somewhere else. Possibly Mire area. Maybe Dark World, Death Mountain. We'll see. And Fluffy did take the Death Warp out of Thieves Town.
Yep, and will not opt to use her big key to check further in.
Yeah, that's a reasonable call. When you don't have the hammer and that small key, it can be a little bit scary. You don't want to have something abandoned in that big chest and have to go back for it later on because it is super slow.
So what's your opinion on Dead Rocks?
I loathe them with as much loathing as one can muster. I can't think of anything that I loathe more than Dead Rocks, to be quite honest.
So you're saying with a fiery passion, then?
It transcends fiery passion and really goes to just like absolute and utter negativity, like just the most absolute hatred and loathing and disgust.
That's some pretty deep hatred right there. That's you know, I have to agree with you though. Those things are actually the worst in the world, probably. The world of Link the Past.
So we are going to see some Super Bunny Cave from StingerPA. He did opt to check the East Dark World Death Mountain, which is the first time we're seeing this as well. We're going to see 300 rupees. Oh boy.
Hey, there's a Desert Palace big key.
That is very nice.
Up that dungeon to be completely finished. Well, sorry. To be finished, there's still the small key and the boots that will open up a few more items in there.
That's correct, and it's technically not in the logic. Seeing another map check real quick, and Skullwoods is also a crystal. But it's technically not in the logic to finish Desert Palace with not having the small key. However, you can absolutely do it, and there's no like real penalty to doing so.
So we're seeing Fluffy actually grab the blacksmith that's got turned in, while Stinger checks the rest of Eastern Dark Death Mountain.
I like this play. It's a little bit risky because this is a slow play when you don't have that mirror. We're seeing Hookshot Cave from Stinger, and so far nothing except the fire rod.
So far there's a fire rod.
Okay. And a piece of heart. But that is some value there, nonetheless.
It opens up the back of Skull Woods, eventually opens up Turtle Rock Trinix to be killed, a couple dungeons in there. That actually opens up Ice Palace as well.
Alright, so the first half of this fetch quest, not doing it for flaafykins, it's just a full heart container. Granted, there are 11 hearts. That's really nice this early in the game, but it's not going to help Fluffy with progression, so we'll see where she's going to head next.
Grabbing that purple chest now, or at least checking the southern area.
Or possibly doing Thieves Town. We'll see momentarily. Lots of options in Kakariko, or Village of Outcasts.
Actually, could be heading east towards Pod.
Oh, that's true. One of the big inconveniences of having only the mitts as your Dark World access. We're finding out that Turtle Rock is the green pendant. We also found out that it requires the Ether Medallion just a minute ago from Stinger.
Another Turtle Rock key. Turtle Rock is a pendant.
Oh boy. Baby. We do now know where 2 of the 3 pendants are. If we find out where the 3rd one is, then that will allow us to, by, deduction, figure out where all the remaining crystals are as well. I note that we did not see a bomb vendor check from Stinger while he was at Hype Cave, and I don't believe Fluffy's been to Hype Cave yet. I think that's where she's going right now.
Oh, yeah, she'll probably do that as she goes around this loop here.
Alright, Stinger working his way into Eastern. First time I'm seeing this as well.
Yep, 4 chests available here. Unfortunately, you can't check the big chest or finish the dungeon without the big key.
Misery Mire key is one of the most useful keys, clearly. Pretty much all a Misery Mire key lets you do is a very slightly faster route in the dungeon, but that's it. You can still full clear it without any keys.
Oh, purple chest wants to go in the Hype Cave. It probably has just realizes it has about as much hype as the actual Hype Cave, so.
You know, none of well, only the first of the 3 major caves really had a lot of hype today.
True.
And that was the flute and the sword.
I think Blind's Hut was pretty hyped too.
Yeah, well, not for Fluffy, unfortunately. Only the hookshot there. And we still haven't seen her detour to go pick that up. Hopefully we will in the near future. She'll have a sudden memory of like, oh crap, I forgot to do this thing. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough seed for her. And the best case would maybe be that she gets blocked very soon on the bow lock chests in pod, because that at least would force her to jog her memory and think about where she hasn't looked.
Yep. Looks like Ice Palace and Tower of Hera are crystals 5 and 6. So those are both definitely required dungeons.
Good knowledge to have. Ice Palace, of course, being kind of an annoying dungeon, but theoretically now they have the big key. That's enough to full clear it. You, again, don't need any small keys for that. Although they... No, yeah, you don't even need the cane because you have the big key.
Correct. Though 1 key is nice, once again. It makes routing a bit more efficient in there.
Yeah, I think it's a much more significant time increase to... Small key against tower from the purple chest incidentally. So that entire fetch quest, unfortunately not paying off for Fluffy. Eastern Palace also not really paying off for Stinger.
And they're both synced up in Sanctuary again.
PogChamp, the sync, OMG. Alright, so Fluffy had actually not checked back of escape yet, so she's going to go ahead and do that, pick up the book, and I think something else was in there.
There's a big key in the sewer, but she hasn't gone there yet.
That's right, that is...
Was it?
I think that was the Ice Palace big key.
Ice Palace? Was it Ice Palace?
I want to say that it was, yeah.
Is that or Desert? Or no, Desert was Eastern Death Mountain, wasn't it?
Alright, so Stinger is heading to Skull Woods, and he does have the fire rod, so he can full clear this dungeon right now, other than the big chest. And he actually, I know right before this race, he was actually practicing Mothula with just the fighter's sword, and I believe in his practice he had a lot fewer hearts than he has right now, so we'll probably actually see him just finish the dungeon here.
Seeing Agana check from Fluffy, though, in the meantime.
And I would bet that she's also going to incorporate Desert into her route here, because she does have the book now. And I believe she doesn't have the big key yet, right? Yeah, that's correct, looking at her inventory.
Yep, another compass.
Oh boy. So many compasses. But yeah, Stinger is going to check this chest that we did not see from Fluffy earlier. And he also, of course, picked up his pod key and half magic from the other half of Skull. He's going to have some fun with these Gibners right now, do a little dance. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god.
Oh, he got a little bit off-centered. Looks like we're going to see the EP check from Fluffy as well now.
Oh wow, he opted to save and quit. That is interesting. So he's not only giving up on that chest for now, but also giving up on Skull, apparently.
Interesting. I think that may have been an oversight. He might be heading out right now. He could have just used the Wallmaster to get back to the front.
Yeah, he might have just had like basically a brain fart for all intents and purposes.
That's what I would call it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like it is. He's heading back in. So Fluffy heading into Eastern. Unfortunately, all she's going to get here is a Myra Small Key. Basically, both runners are kind of... The thing that Fluffy needs right now, aside from the bow, obviously, is the Fire Rod, which Stinger just obtained a little bit earlier in Hookshot Cave. And Fluffy does have access to Hookshot Cave and the rest of Dark East Death Mountain right now. And I believe that was where the Desert Palace Big Key came from as well.
I believe that is so.
Oh my
no.
gosh. Poor Stinger. Well, he remembered he has a Fire Rod, but he seems to be very reticent to deploy it for some reason.
Well, you know, no one wants to do Fire Sword Mothra, so the more Fire Rod shots you have, the better.
I suppose that's true. There is a full magic refill behind this wall here, but maybe he just wants to not have to get it. Alright, so quick recap right now. Both runners are in a pretty similar position. The big differences right now, Fluffy has not yet explored East Dark Death Mountain, and as a result does not yet have the Desert Palace Big Key and the Fire Rod, which StingerPA is in possession of, so he is able to do this back part of Skull Woods that he's working on right now. Additionally, Stinger has not gotten the Thievestown Big Key from the Ice Rod Cave. However, Fluffy has not gotten the bow, and that was back in the Thieves' Hut in Kakariko Village, and it was behind the bombable wall, which he did bomb, but then neglected to actually go into. So that is a very unfortunate situation for her, and we're hoping that before too long she's going to remember that was the case and head back in there and get that bow. Stinger, meanwhile, having to death warp through a ferry there, so that's kind of annoying, but he decides, I guess, he does not mind that ferry, and he just stops to continue the death warp. Freddy, we're kind of taking this very slowly, like the progression is coming at a very, very slow pace in this seed. What do you think is next?
Let's see. What do they have? I think it's going to be in Desert, and I think it is going to be... Shoot, I don't even know.
I think Desert is a very good call.
I think it's in Desert. It's probably the Hammer, actually. That would make sense as the next item coming up. It looks like Fluffy's going to make her way to Eastern Death Mountain after finding nothing in Eastern. So that'll get her Desert and her Fire Rod.
Alright, Fighter's Sword Mothula coming up here for Stinger. Going with a spin there initially, throwing in some Fire Rod shots. 8 of those, I believe, to kill Mothula, and he's got enough magic for 16. A couple of them hitting these spikes, but he's still got a whole bunch of good hits in.
Nope, we have to finish with Fighter Sword, though.
And at
one more hit
from
Mothula will kill him. Oh, got it. Close fight.
It's a small key. to Pod.
Another pod key. Pods look like a good option now too, though, with all the pod keys that have been dropped.
Yeah, even without the hammer.
3 now?
That is correct, yes.
So that opens up the back half, the 3 chests back there.
That's correct. And with the 3 keys, they also, if they had the hammer, it would be possible to also skip the front door. And then I know that Stinger knows how to hammer jump, so he would also be able to skip another key door. So he would actually be able to clear everything except the boss. However, he doesn't have the hammer, so that's not quite possible. But we'll see what he opts to do now. Meanwhile, Fluffy exploring Darky's DM, collecting her Desert Palace Big Key, and shortly from Hookshot Cave the Fire Rod. And she'll also find out that Turtle Rock requires Ether Medallion.
Yeah, it looks like Stinger was thinking about going to Pod, but unfortunately without the hammer, the flute spot does not work very well. So opting to dip into Desert Palace instead.
Yeah, this is a pretty fine play. And he also had a brief moment of, maybe I'll go into Mire, but then he said, actually, let me do Desert first. So he's going to go in the front door. He'll probably loop around from left to right, check that big chest, check the torch, get that one chest that he has available, and then exit near Agina and check that as well. Big 20. All right, we got another map check from Fluffy. Looks like information that we did already have. I had missed that Mire was a crystal, but fortunately our tracker is on top of that. So I see it's already marked on the trackers.
And Fluffy's heading to Desert as well. Looks like there's nothing up on the lantern there.
Stinger checking his map, making sure he knows where the dungeon boss can be found. But I don't believe that he has the compass for this dungeon yet, so he can't quite figure out that knowledge.
Does take the detour for the heart, just in case it's Sank Heart, which it was.
Wow.
There's been enough hearts, none of them being Sank Hearts. It was a good chance.
It's true, they've actually found a pretty good number of heart containers already. All right, but for a little bit of a brief time, the runners will be pretty close together here. Stinger's gonna head into the back of Desert, and Fluffy will be along pretty shortly after checking that big chest. It wasn't in that big chest, the thing that we're looking for, so I would say that if we're gonna see anything here,
gotta be Landmo.
I mean, yeah, it does have to be Landmo.
Neither runner's checked Mire Shed yet, though, so...
That's a good point. That is available right after this, and I'm guessing that Stinger wants to go there, based on the fact that he picked up the rock right before coming to Desert.
Saying Fluffy skipping that bomb with only one in hand. I bet bombs are especially useful now, but always good to have some, especially for Pod.
Oh, almost a one-cycle Landmo for Stinger, but he couldn't quite get the fire rod shot to land on the last one, but still a very quick kill and a very nice fight. It's just a bomb upgrade. And a pendant. That is our last pendant, so we now know that Thieves Town is a crystal, and that is all of the knowledge that we need.
Always nice knowing all that early on.
And Fluffy should be able to get that knowledge as well, I'm pretty sure. I believe she has the map of Swamp.
Yep, they already knew Skull Woods, so...
Well, we are still we're still waiting to see what is going to be the thing, and if it's not in Mire area, then Pod seems very likely with the 3 keys and the bow to access the bow side. Except Again, Fluffy does not have that bow. Again, probably the best case for her would be that the item that they need is blocked by the bow on that side of pod. If it is, then at least she'll be forced to go for hunting it early on.
Yep. Would definitely be quite helpful in the long run. So let's see what's at the Meyer shed.
We'll also check this Meyer medallion, and it is Bombos.
Also, as a reminder, we do have Ice Palace open still.
That's a true fact. Full clearable, no less.
Would not be the first time today I've seen Hammer in Ice Palace, and not full clearable without the hammer. There's silvers, though.
Yep, very nice pickup, given that Stinger's already got the bow. Fluffy opting to ditch the golden bee, and she's just going to pick up some potions. Never a bad play.
Might be getting ready for a trip into Ice Palace, you think?
Not sure. We are about to find out. Looks like she might not be sure either. We were going to 3.
Thieves Town. She does have that Thieves Town big key up on Stinger.
She does also have that fire rod, so either one of these seems like a pretty reasonable place. Stinger also heading back here. Now he has finished Skull, so he may be doing some Overworld possibly at this point.
This might be the trip to pod.
That's a good point. If he wants to go there, he's got a long trek ahead of him.
Not much choice, unfortunately.
Yep, and he is heading in that direction. I wonder if we will also see a catfish check looped into this, as well as I'm sure Bumper Cave will be.
And Pyramid, yep.
So this is one of those annoyances where, you don't have the mirror, you don't have hammer. Traveling around the world, very inconvenient at this point because your only access to the Dark World is via that, one portal at Kakariko.
Okay, let's see flaafykins finishing up Skull Woods here. While Stinger makes the long trek to Eastern Dark World.
She swipes her sword a couple times in that chest after all it gives her is 5 rupees.
Yeah,
Probably a little tired of having nothing right now.
He's been very stingy as far as progression is concerned. Pretty nice as far as health and rupees and all that, but
yeah, even if you were a newer player at this point, if you have 12 hearts, you find that heart container on Bumper Cave Ledge, you might still not even take it.
I doubt either runner will come back for that one.
Yeah, ditto.
Catfish is not the answer.
Lobbing an arrow with a +5 on it at Stinger, and he says no thanks. Fluffy deploying the incineration strats on this room with these Gibdos. Always a good play when you have half magic. It's easy to just spam the fire rod and get rid of everything and do it all in pretty short order.
Yeah, Wallmaster likes to intercept one sometimes there as well.
I love the blind bunny sprite for the maiden.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Maiden sprite.
Yeah, shoutouts to everyone that develops the sprites for this randomizer setup. A lot of them are just amazing. All of them are just amazing, honestly.
Yeah, and I really enjoy watching other people play with them. Oh, Fluffy doing Mothula, taking a whole bunch of damage, but she landed a whole bunch of fire red shots. Takes another hit. She's only got one more heart.
And a fairy, so this isn't as scary as it looks, but...
Oh, well then.
Oh, there's the hammer! On the pyramid.
Of course it
That's
is.
awful.
Why not?
That's so awful.
Well, that means Stinger can skip that front door in pod. Fluffy going for part 2 of her attempt here. Resurrected by that fairy. She doesn't have enough magic. Oh, she did have enough magic for one more shot, but that wasn't enough.
Shouldn't be too many more.
Oh, going in for that hit. Dropping down to 4 hearts.
Worst case, she does have a blue potion left, but you don't want to use it if you can help it.
She is trying to avoid that, but she takes a hit. She's going to drink it. So she's back to safety. Just a few more spins. Or fire rod shots. Oh, this fight is so terrifying. There it is.
Oh, Stinger getting nailed by the whatever that is.
Yep, Stinger briefly losing track of Kiki and also very nearly getting killed here. He just needs to be careful to make sure that he doesn't take a death. That will make for some very inconvenient overworld movement. Although now he has the hammer, so we'll be...
Oh no!
Oh, there. Why did I
Talking about
say
inconvenient deaths. So now he has to walk all the way back. Well, no, he has a hammer now. It's fine.
Yeah, fortunately, that hammer find on the pyramid makes this return trip way faster. All right, flaafykins wrapping up her trip to Skull with the check of this back chest here, which I believe was also unnecessary. So a little bit of disappointment for her, but that is going to do it for her in Skull, and so we're going to see where are we heading next.
Looks like she's opting to walk out of Skull Woods here.
That would suggest to me that she probably does want to head to Thieves Town.
Yeah. Or possibly pot herself, one of the two.
Yeah, Pod still going to be a good play. Both runners have the 3 keys. And yeah, to get back to that, you know, the comments on what Stinger can do here now. He's got the bow and the hammer, so he can go down the right side of the dungeon using the bow and then also hammer his way into the main area, which means he does not need to use a key on that front door. So he can clear everything in this dungeon except the big chest and the actual boss right now.
But to be fair, a lot of that will be out of logic.
Yeah, that is very true. What you would be hoping to gain from that is just being able to get access to some items that you are going to need later on anyway, and just do it right now instead of having to make a repeat trip later.
Yeah, I believe without the big key, they are still logically in for the bow side chests, the front chests, and... well, I don't know. I don't know how the logic works. At the very least, I believe the turtle room and basement chests are in logic.
Yeah, you're correct. About all of that.
Just gets wonky when you have the bow and the hammer.
Yeah, for sure. That adds another chest into the logic for possible things. Another key into the logic that might be required. So Stinger is heading down the bow side here. And Fluffy is opting to complete Thieves Town with the Thieves Town Big Key, which again, she is the only one who has that. Stinger has not gone to Ice Rod Cave yet to obtain it. The Firebar trolling Fluffy a little bit, but getting out of the way finally.
Yep, and she does have, and it is a crystal, so this will be extra crystal for her as well. Ooh, Swamp Palace Small Key in Bowside Chest for Stinger, and a Vanilla Bod Key.
Love those vanilla keys, dude.
So really, this was mostly in logic all along. Well, actually, I need one more, but
yeah, I think that puts all the aforementioned stuff is now in logic, all the way down to the dark basement. Looks like Stinger is for now skipping the big key chest, which would force him to drop down and then take the portal to the right side and do the bow side yet again. And I'm guessing he would rather come back and do that in a minute. Yes.
just grabbing that one chest, and I think he's gonna go do that now.
Meanwhile, from Fluffy, we're going to see her coming to the attic in Thieves Town, bombing the ceiling so that eventually she can fight blind, and then we're also going to see what's in this chest.
Oh, yeah. Handy A-bomb drop from the grasshoppers there.
Oh, wow.
That's a big key.
And that is a required big key as well for Stinger, and just a piece of heart for Fluffy. Oh, and a shield for Stinger. Yay.
That still is not too bad for Fluffy, because it doesn't open up a lot, and will also point her to thinking that she should have the bow. Like, she won't be able to get into Swamp now without the bow. She won't be able to finish Eastern or check the big chest without the bow. Well, actually, never mind. She'll be able to do that. But
yeah, no, the big one is that Swamp small key, and so we gotta hope that that's at least for Flaafykins' sake, we gotta hope that that's like an early blocker for them. That's like the very next thing they need to do. That said, though, Stinger
or not required.
Or not required. You're right. It is a pendant. Oh boy. Oh god. There's so much potential for badness there, though.
And on the plus side, it could be something that Stinger texts that she never does.
That is true. And does not, like, he could just not get anything useful. Stinger is having an enjoyable time navigating Pod without having boots to do the little bounce back across that corridor there.
Yep, and Fluffy got the big key from Misery Miner out next to Blind.
Oh, nice. Good catch.
That's another big key out of the way. We're only missing, for required keys, the Hera big key, the Pod big key. I believe that's it.
The Master Sword coming out of the compass chest for Stinger just now. And in the basement, he finds the Hyrule Castle small key, which we don't care about, and 50 rupees, so not super special. We'll see if he now opts to do the Harmless Hellway and bomb jump across to the Dark Maze. Does appear that he's doing that. Blind fight going on for Fluffy, meanwhile.
In a little bit of trouble. Gotta be careful for this last phase.
Nearly there. Oh, down to one heart though. Oh no. That was a very quick bomb jump meanwhile, or hammer jump meanwhile for Stinger. He almost wanted to try. Oh, he did. You don't have the big key.
That he did.
Fluffy opting. Go ahead.
I find myself doing that sometimes just in case I forgot I picked up the big key. And one time I did that and I did have the big key and didn't mark it.
Nice.
Of course, that was after I used all my keys, but you know. But yeah, Fluffy deciding to leave Thieves Town and head up to Bumper Cave.
Yeah, basically cutting her losses, which is totally reasonable. Blind will still be there. It'll be a lot easier when you have more than just green mail later on. And for that matter, sword beams from the Master Sword. Stinger appears to be heading back to Village of Outcasts. What will we see from him now? And Fluffy heading to the east, swimming across, probably going to do the same Catfish plus Pyramid plus Pod play, which is a good play and will help her out. But of course, there's, oh god, the hearts though.
Fortunately, she already noticed that the stun prize was a heart itself, and ooh, doesn't help if you take a hit though doing it.
Stinger doing hammer pegs. Oh baby. Tap, 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 tap. Oh god, Fluffy.
Wait, where did Stinger? Was there a tempered sword in the maze as well? Is that 2 swords in Pod?
Huh. Oh, that must have been the Harmless Hellway. I recall looking away for a brief instant during that.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, so Fluffy opted to quaff a red potion. Not a bad play, just wants to survive, does not want to lose all the time to having to retread all this ground. And we're seeing the blacksmith and most likely purple chest from Stinger, which we know are not really going to be of value for him. So this is where, some of the overworld that Fluffy was a little more comprehensive with earlier, Stinger's now going to basically have to do that anyway, because they're both kind of blocked on what seems to be some obscure progression path that they haven't discovered yet.
Or they just don't want to go to Ice Palace.
Well,
Hammer in hand, Ice Palace is now fully completed.
Oh yeah, well, that was a good point that we both should have realized.
And Stinger does have the Ice Palace big key as well. I don't remember where that was at, but he has it.
That was the sewer item, as I recall, so Fluffy's still not having that. Hey, look, Stinger is now fluting to 8. He will finally check Ice Rod Cave, so he will get his hands on the Thieves Town big key, so this is very good for him. This is, again, one of those one-off locations you can easily forget about.
So you get some progression for both of our runners about the same time here. Thieves Town for Stinger, which we know there's nothing, at least in part of it. We do not know what's on blind yet.
That's right. With the Tempered Sword and his 13 hearts and Stinger's experience, I'm sure blind would be fine if he opted to go there, but looks like he is opting to instead go to Ice Palace.
Yep. Makes sense. It's one of the biggest areas, and being able to full clear a new dungeon is always a positive. And it's Crystal 6 or 5 or one of the two.
That is true. And meanwhile, Fluffy is heading to Pod. She did get her hammer from the pyramid and survive that entire trip, so she's good for fast travel now in the future. And in Pod, she'll be able to pick up her Master Sword and all that stuff, even if she doesn't opt to skip the front door. In fact, she can't. But she should still have access to that side. Sorry, the back side, I mean.
Have at least access to the sword. She could potentially open the Hellway as well.
Right. Yeah, what she won't have access to is that Swamp Small Key, which we do not know if it's required, nor will she have access to that Vanilla Pod Key either.
So just to update right now, Stinger and Fluffy, the main difference between the two is Fluffy missed the bow in the back of Blind's hut. Bit of a just probably forgetfulness after getting the hook shot. Something you kind of get excited and start tracking things and just walk upstairs without even realizing. So we're hoping she'll realize at some point in time and head back for it, or get stuck to the point where she has to start looking back for it.
Yeah, so overall, we haven't really been dwelling on that a lot, and part of the reason is like what are you going to do, right? Sometimes you're going to play Randomizer, and you're just going to forget a chest, and I certainly can't blame someone for doing that, because the other day I lost a race to forgetting a chest in Checkerboard Cave, so,
yep. We have all done it.
But all we can do is hope that for Fluffy's sake, she's going to keep routing well. So far, her routing's been just fine in this seed, unfortunately for that one error, which is going to make her seed life very, very unfortunate.
Yep, meanwhile, progression in general this seed has been very slow. Not very forthcoming at all. So they just found a hammer, which required running all the way around Darkworld to the pyramid. Now checking Pod for a sword upgrade and a couple other things. Nothing too big progression-wise, but useful to have.
Now the nice thing is Fluffy did opt to check that big key chest, so she did get the Eastern Palace big key. But unfortunately, that doesn't do her much for now, since she's lacking that bow. But when she does get it, at least she won't have to worry about that too.
Yep, the main thing she'll be missing here is a Tempered Sword from the Harmless Hellway just south of here. Meanwhile, Stinger's making his way through, not finding much in Ice Palace so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty unremarkable. Some big 20s, some... I think I saw a compass or some sort. I don't know, nothing interesting. It's such boring drops that I've already forgotten most of them. Oh, the mirror. All right.
I swear I've been in Ice Palace way too often lately.
Yeah, I think that's like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen that. Just in the past couple days, even.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to open up a ton for Stinger. The hammer already opened up access to Turtle Rock and Tower of Hera, but now this will open up access to a ton of Overworld locations. And the Cane of Brian, which in this case does actually open up logical access to Spike Cave, so if he wants to do that, we all know how much we all love Spike Cave.
There's the other cane.
Jeez.
They're just sitting right next to each other. Yeah, it was indeed Ice Palace that held all the answers today.
Jeez, Ice Palace, you need to calm down. Still got 2 more locations in here. Who knows what else we'll find?
Double fetch quests now, just to make things fun and interesting.
So Fluffy taking the hammer up here to Death Mountain, and I wonder if we will see a Hera play from her. That does appear to be what's happening, as well as the Ether Tablet. Two hearts for Stinger, meanwhile. Gonna dance around this anti-fairy.
Yep, he's taking it a little slowly. Don't know if he has any potions available. I don't think he does, but... There's the Butter Sword, though.
Jeez, dude, this Ice Palette.
And a 3rd bottle from Fluffy. Another fairy.
Nice. Very convenient pickup to have, regardless of whether you feel you're going to need it or not. Just nice to have that. So the Hera checks now, the basement cage just having a big 20. And we do now have access to the basement as a result of getting the small key earlier. Another big 20.
It's nothing there. Let's see what the basement holds. And Cold Stare, for that matter.
Yeah, perfect timing. While Fluffy waits through the tower room, we'll get to watch Stinger's Cold Stare fight, which should be pretty good. Let's check this out.
He can't afford to take a hit from Cold Stare himself, though, with only 3 hearts. Or 2 of those.
1 heart, you know, whatever. Oh, no. Oh, good God, please. This is terrifying.
So close.
So Stinger's using the trick where if you hug the top of the room, then these dropping ice objects do not split apart. Oh, God, okay. Oh, goodness.
That's a little
Made it
close.
through.
For a map.
Oh, yay, map. Meanwhile, Fluffy gets the basement chest, and it is a small key to Thieves Town. Oh, wow.
An interesting find.
I wonder what we will see in that chest. I think there's a very strong chance that Fluffy will check it when she heads back to Thieves Town, as she does still need to finish off blind. And I have a pretty good inkling that Stinger will opt to put off that Hera basement for as long as humanly possible.
That is indeed a thing that people tend to do. Probably the worst case scenario for him, at least I know it would be for me, is if the Hera big key happens to be in that big chest of Thieves Town.
Oh, Lord.
I would never go to that basement.
Yeah, that would be rough. So Fluffy right now is heading to the back of the... Just kidding.
Oh, she's going to check the first chest up in Aga Tower.
Okay.
Getting a sword upgrade lets her get in there. Both of our runners.
So that's not a bad play.
No, these chests do like to hold things sometimes.
They're also pretty easy to forget if you're used to other non-Keysanity modes. It's very easy to just not remember, hey, there are 2 chests in Agnum's Tower, and they can have a real thing. Meanwhile, Bombo's tablet for Stinger yielding a piece of heart. And a refill.
He's taken the heart lead, though.
The all-important heart lead. At the end, when we apply the heart, the heart count tiebreaker.
Yep, that's the thing we do, definitely.
I'm just kidding, we don't do that.
Oh,
It's
mushroom.
the mushroom.
Well then.
Oh, man. Well, Freddy, speaking of things that people do tend to put off for a long time, Swamp Palace is a place that people often tend to put off, but Stinger is going right there. So now we're going to see.
A lot of chests, and it's fully available, so I can't say I blame him here.
Yeah, we're going to see what Fluffy will be missing out on. This is not the green pendant, so all that can be in here is going to be in here if it's here. And if there's nothing, then we'll find out as Stinger does it. And Fluffy is going to that Dark Sewer chest. She will get the Ice Palace Big Key. And hopefully head there, because the bow is not necessary for Ice Palace. So
it is fortunate that she had it here first before going to Ice, because that was the Keysanity in the big chest.
That's correct. And that, again, is a required item due to Misery Mire being in Crystal. So maps at this point in this seed completely worthless. Normally in Keysanity, the map gives you the ability to find out if a particular dungeon is a pendant or a crystal, but we actually have all that information already, so those maps are going to do nothing for us.
Okay, so Fluffy's gonna go cash in that mushroom real quick.
Great excuse for a potion trip as well.
Indeed. Especially if you're planning on going into Ice Palace, it's always nice to have a potion handy for that.
Or 3.
You work as many as you can. A small key.
that is the best, dude. So
what was a lumberjack again?
I appreciate Fluffy's reaction there. Fluffy, of course, knowing that you need that castle tower key to get the second chest in Agnum's Tower. So she has to the forced 2 trips if you want to check both of those chests. That's
She's making the return trip too. I applaud
that's,
this.
That's great. I love the sense of humor.
Giving the people what they want to know. Hey, a blue mail for Stinger in the big chest swamp though.
Oh, Fluffy would really love to have that, so... Oh, man. I'm sure Stinger's not going to be complaining either. If this is, like, some important item in the sequence, Freddy, I'm going to die.
You know, after that seed we had the other night that I watched, it would not surprise me. But meanwhile, let's see what's at Swamp.
We're going to see which of them gets to the next chest first. I think Stinger has more room transitions to do. So it should be Flaafykin getting to this chest inside Aga Tower shortly.
He even went the right way in the maze.
I know, I'm so proud. And it contains...
Oh no, it's a big King of Dark Palace!
Holy crap, dude!
Oh, geez.
Oh, Lord.
I'm actually really curious what that second castle tower key is now.
It's
So
in
that
pod,
actually
dude.
is
I
pod.
guarantee you.
It's in the pod.
It's in the big chest of pod.
That's
Oh,
no
Stinger
pod.
getting it. Yeah, it's close.
That's a big deal for Fluffy, actually, so...
That's true. She will be in need of at least a few more of those. She did have to open the front door since she does not have the bow yet to access that side entrance. So far, that's it for Stinger, though. Fluffy being assaulted by that murder dactyl, but manages to escape.
Finally making her way down to that mire shed.
Gonna get her silver arrows, which unfortunately are not helpful for her right now.
Yeah. But I believe she's starting to run out of places, so that bow might actually come into play here sooner than we think. She does still have Mire, or Ice Palace, though.
Yeah, that's correct. And she's currently out of keys and pods, so that is good for her. When she goes to Ice Palace, that's going to be really bad, because she's going to get the mirror, and then, like, the entire world opens up. And she is going there.
Hey, there really isn't that much that opens up outside of a bunch of mirror locations.
Well,
which, you know, it's a bunch of mirror locations, but Stinger's been checking most of those too, so she won't be losing much time on that.
Did Stinger not check the bottom two chests?
We just really wanted to check that one first.
Interesting. I wanna remember that one for the interview. I'm curious what that's about. Possibly just maybe he muscle memoried into go mode for a second.
He knew it was just a red meringue. He didn't want it.
So the interview question is going to be like, gee, Stinger, why'd you go back and get those chests? They were obviously worthless. Gosh.
Just like that map.
Well, this is an unfortunate play for Fluffy because we know that it's going to take her further away from remembering where the bow is. But, I mean, as far as she's concerned, she's already checked that location. So the likelihood of going back there is pretty slim. It's going to take probably a while, unfortunately. That's just the unfortunate reality of when you miss a location while checking something and that you normally do it during.
Yep, this is the logical step anyway, so...
If you blinked, you missed.
Another big key. Skull this time.
Well, that's not
as exciting. Flying around. Yep, we are still missing the Hera big key.
But he did manage to get his hands on a red pendant.
Stinger is actually effectively 2 items away from go mode right now. 3 items, actually, sorry. He does not have the Meyer big key yet.
Is it just medallions and that key? Is that really it?
I think it's just Bombos and the Hera big key, yeah.
Oh, you're right, yeah. To the best of our knowledge.
And the pod big key. I forgot about that one.
You're right.
That's the trip right there.
The hilarious back and forth there.
Where was the Meyer big key? I forget.
I have completely forgotten. I forgot to take notes this time. Rip.
It's around somewhere. So you're cashing in that big key real quick just to get it out of the way.
My big key was in Thieves Town. It was in the blind chest. Shoutouts to Receiver Ether Medallion. Ha. Ha ha. Dude, that gets them into Turtle Rock.
Oh boy. So now Turtle Rock is open. Yeah, I mean, that's the logical play now.
Now, here's a fun thing that I'm sure chat will be amused by. We haven't checked the pedestal yet.
Oh my.
Stinger's already got 2 pendants, dude. All he needs is the last one from Turtle Rock.
You just need the boots to get that. So Hera big key on pedestal? Is that what we're looking at now? Or Bombos even?
Yeah. Both of those are possible.
Oh, you are missing the Turtle Rock Big Key for as well, though.
That's true, and that cannot be on the pedestal, unfortunately.
It'll probably be in its vanilla chest anyway, so don't worry about it.
Stinger is heading into Thieves Town right now, and he still does not have that Thieves Town small key, so he won't actually be able to check that chest. I believe that Fluffy did, though, and it was not vital. No, I'm high.
No, she's not been in there yet. Or else she went to the back, did not finish blind, and did not have the key at the time, yeah. Or
correct. And we were waiting for her to make the return trip to Thieves Town to see what was in there, but she just has not done that yet, as she has prioritized Ice Palace, where she has gotten several items so far and is making her way through the dungeon right now.
Yep, got her Cheeto sword. Just needs to finish up Cold Stare now. Oh, never mind. She just needs to do the top chests. She's gonna opt to use her fairy first here.
Meanwhile, Stinger making his way through Thieves Town just bombed the ceiling in the attic, so he will be heading back downstairs, and we will not see that big chest, but we will probably see what is on blind, and of course he will receive his crystal.
And likely not make his way to Meyer because he doesn't have Bombos. So where he'll go after that will be interesting, actually. Curious.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna take a little bit of a stretch to think, hey, maybe I should go to Aghanim Tower. It would have been really nice if he had the opportunity to route that in with his first pyramid visit, but he didn't have the mirror at that point because there was an Ice Palace, and he wouldn't have gone to Ice Palace because he didn't have the hammer.
Yeah, probably a decently logical play for him right now would be good to go up Death Mountain, do Spike Cave, or actually probably start at Turtle Rock, do Turtle Rock stuff, do Spike Cave, do Ether Tablet, do Hera. He's quite a few chests up there to do.
I just remember that TT small key coming from the Hera basement. So that was fun.
Oh, yeah, right.
We'll see if Stinger opts to do that when he heads up there. And you're seeing a very, very nice execution of the blind strat from Stinger. This is the no magic glitches version where basically it's a 0 RNG fight as long as you do the strat like that.
Just 20 rupees off of that.
Alright, well, Stinger's worst nightmare is that something is in that big chest, because you have to come all the way back after doing Hera Basement. But he does already have one crappy fetch quest with the mushroom into Aga Key into Pod Big Key. I'm sorry, that is just absolutely hilarious. That kills me.
That is pretty ridiculous. He's gonna check his not-so-value out of that purple chest, though.
Meanwhile, we're gonna see Cold Stare from Fluffy. Now, neither runner having Bombos, they will have to burn 8 shots just to break the shell. And then Fluffy does have the Temperate Sword. Ooh, gets knocked away from the boss, though. She's got potions. She's gonna go ahead and chug one, and presumably spam the Fire Rod. Definitely my favorite strat for this boss.
Oh yeah, it's very nice. Looks like the ledge south of Grove is nothing.
Couple misses here, and she takes another hit. I believe she still has another potion. She sure does.
Yep, using all those potions, making sure not to die. Loses a little bit of time using potions, but loses much less time than dying to Cold Stare.
That is for sure. She does get the kill, collects her piece of parchment, and
yeah, another map. Okay, so that brings the crystal count up to 2 for her. To Stinger's 3, so crystal count is not too far behind. And she does have some advantages as far as keys are concerned.
Now she does, she's kind of lacking things to do. As you mentioned, really all the mirrors opening for her right now is a couple overworld locations, because she did have access to Hera already via the hammer. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly she realizes that she's blocked by that bow, and what she does about it.
So she's gonna check her board first here. And there was not a pod key in Swamp, or not Swamp, Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's right. The next one, I believe, was in Swamp, and then there was another one somewhere else.
In pod itself, actually, the vanilla pod key.
Oh, right, yeah, that's the one she hasn't found yet.
So both of those are blocked by the bow, so...
Correct.
That won't lead her back in pod, probably.
Some blue mail coming out of the checkerboard cave. Stinger picks up his bottle of fairy. So red mail is available to both of these runners and will probably be acquired.
Indeed. Stinger will most likely check the basement while he's in here.
Alright, so now is the moment of decision for Fluffy. She's having to kind of pick from a few not so palatable options. Unfortunately, still bypassing that Thieves' Hut, where we know, because of our, omnipotent knowledge, that the bow is waiting in the back of the Thieves' Hut behind a door that she bombed, but then did not remember to go through. Unfortunately, that is just a thing that sometimes happens in Rando, and it can be very easy to lose track of a single thing and then not remember to go back and check it.
Looks like she's going to opt to clean up some stuff that she missed, finish up blind, and probably check this big chest.
Yeah, this is a good play. She has 2 items to check here, and one of them is really out of the way, so might as well get it going here while you also need this crystal still.
Yep, and also she can loop this in with the hammer pegs and the south of Grove Ledge that she's not done, and then Bombos as well. So this is a decent loop, gets her quite a few chests without fairly efficiently.
Alright, Stinger gonna collect his Thieves Town small key. And then presumably head to Turtle Rock? Question mark?
Go up. Does he have the Hera big key? I don't think he does.
Not that I'm aware of.
Nope.
There we go. Alright, so he remembered. Yeah, I mean, again, Keysanity is one of those things where there's so much to keep track of. Even if you're running an item tracker, it's possible to lose track on what you actually have.
Yep, indeed. I always forget, especially keys. I forget to hit keys a lot. So I'll be looking like, oh, I don't have enough keys, I don't have enough keys, I'm missing this, and I look at my tracker, the in-game, I'm like, oh, I have that key. Oh, okay. Oh no, dead rocks, they're the best. Something, fiery passion. Blossom again. No. Is that just a compass for Swamp Palace?
I looked away, but I have the stream open, and it sure was, so...
It sure was.
Lucky for Stinger, that is not going to hurt him. Unfortunately, now that he has the key, he may later on think like, oh god, I have to go back and get that crap.
Yeah, that will probably be one of the last places, though. Most people tend to leave that as one of the later things if it comes up.
Alright, so Fluffy going back in for round 2 on blind, and she now has the Cane of Berna with half magic, so she's just going to rock that cane and just stand in his face. And this is a very nice method of killing blind. It's incredibly easy and safe. Obviously, you're invulnerable while using the cane.
And cathartic. You can't touch me now, blind, right?
A little bit of lag added by the cane, but really, if you don't have to even do anything, and you don't already have practice in the like no major glitches strat where you just manipulate him, then it's nice and easy. So what do you think we're going to find in Turtle Rock?
Let's see. Have a big key, maybe?
Seems plausible. I feel like we're gonna find a vanilla Turtle Rock big key here. Not necessarily vanilla location, just vanilla dungeon.
I hope we find the boots here, just because that'd be trolling. And then, like, Turtle Rock big key. Actually, it really doesn't matter since Ice Rod's boot locked.
Boy, I had completely forgotten about that Ice Rod being on that, the bookshelf. Wow.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Good old Ice Rod. What an item.
Okay, so Fluffy continuing her strikeouts in some of this overworld cleanup. I don't believe either runner has been up to Graveyard Ledge yet, though, either. So the mirror that's also available.
Yeah, that's correct. It's such a out-of-the-way, crappy place, and if you don't also have to, like, route in the boots locations, then it's really garbage to have to go there. Oh, good gosh.
So you're having issues with Stinger. Oh, there's a Turtle Rock big key. Nailed it.
Perfect.
Oh my.
So with he entered with 3 small keys and the big keys. That means he can either get to the boss, but unfortunately not clear it because he doesn't have Ice Rod, or he can opt to check this vanilla big key location.
Be interesting to see what he decides here. Honestly, either option has merit and disadvantage.
Yeah, and this is one of those terrifying decisions you sometimes have to make in Keysanity, where, like, if you burn this key, which he is doing, very bad things can occur.
Fortunately, it is a pendant dungeon, so worst case, it ends up being it's just a compass for Ganon Tower, obviously, a very required item. But yeah, the only real thing where this could hurt is if there is 2 items off of Tronics, to be fair, with it being green pendant, but it's very not likely for it to be required, especially since they still haven't even found boots to get the Ice Rod.
Yeah, these are valid and correct points.
I think Fluffy's finally hitting that wall where she doesn't know where she can go.
Yeah, this is going to be the tough part for us. There's going to be a time when she arrives at, I got nothing else to do. At that point, she has to just remember that she didn't check that one location. That could take any amount of time, potentially, because, again, it'll have been crossed off of her mental checklist. I checked Thieves' Hut. That was, like, the first thing I did in the seed. And so hopefully she can walk back through those events in her memory and be like, oh, but I didn't actually go in that door. So we'll see. Mimic Cave coming up for Stinger and Spike Cave coming up for Fluffy right now.
A couple of out-of-the-way places. I thought we were out of compasses. How are we not out of compasses yet?
No, sir. We're going to find more, I guarantee you. We're going to find another one that's like, this is the compass of Water Temple. Like, wait, that's not in this game.
Or is it? A shield upgrade.
Well, red shield for Fluffy out of Spike Cave, unfortunately, won't be of much use.
Hey, 1 shield away from Laser Bridge being helpful. But I guess they already have the blue shield, or the cane, so it's fine. But... oh, where does she have left to check? I'm starting to draw a blank here, personally.
I mean, Graveyard Ledge is one of the few spots. She's already checked Checkerboard Cave. Oh, she's gonna check I think gonna check the first chest in Swamp. Or change her mind. Just kidding.
Back to 3. This might be the Graveyard Ledge, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where she's heading. She's probably thinking of doing the first chest in Swamp. She's like, nah, that's dumb. It couldn't possibly be there, which it isn't, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't remember what was in the first chest of swamp, but it certainly was not anything important. Stinger having a very near miss from a laser there, and he is rocking 2 health right now. So he's going to opt to do Cane of Burna here, but he does have to be careful still. So he's, any death is going to send him back to the Mimic Cave entrance. That's a pod key.
Where's the last pod key?
That's a map. Again, we don't care about those.
Another key. The desert key.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Wow. Stinger mirrors out, and he will set up the mirror from this left ledge. This does allow you to potentially come back to Turtle Rock, as long as you don't mirror back from the Dark World again. And as long as he's just doing desert.
Which, if he's doing this, then he will be mirrored back again.
Yeah, that's immediately ruined.
Looks like there wasn't anything in the back of Graveyard Ledge. So now she's back to probably going to EP Big Chest? Yeah, EP Big Chest. I think this is what she's doing here.
Yeah, this is in the realm of plays that are pretty logical, given how few things she has remaining, but unfortunately also we know will be futile. It's pretty much not going to be until she realizes she has literally nothing left that she might be able to recall that she skipped that one chest.
Even then, all is not completely lost, as Stinger has yet to check the Castle Tower chests, which are required. Oh, there's the Hera Big Key.
Yeah, so Stinger definitely making great progress, but yeah, he needs to remember that particular bit of progression. The good news for him is he's also going to run out of locations pretty soon once he gets through Hera, presumably, so he should still be pretty fine, and he even has Eastern left to finish. Once he does that, like, he's probably good.
Yeah, I don't think he has checked that Eastern chest yet, has he? So this is actually new information for us, this big chest here. It's another compass, because why not?
So many compasses. And this does seem like she is starting to get to the point of, what the heck, what have I missed? Where's the item?
Okay, up to Hera for Stinger. Just following the chain. So we are still missing Bombos as far as what we are required for no mode. Stinger only needs that and the chain to get the pod big key for his own go mode. Looks like Fluffy's gonna do that swamp now.
Yeah.
Did she check Bombos yet either?
I want to say that she did, yes.
Yeah, I think she did too.
So yeah, this is pretty unfortunate. Again, like, she's making logical plays because she thinks she's exhausted all the other options. The one option that she has not actually exhausted is the chest in the back of the Thieves Hut. And soon she will run out of locations, and then we have to basically, I would recommend in chat that you spam some Take Energy, and hopefully she'll be able to remember what happened in the Thieves Hut and the fact that she needs to go back to get that item.
Agreed. Fortunately, usually when you're going on a trip like this, you go through, you start getting to the point where, like, okay, I have to start rechecking places to see if I missed anything. Usually you start in Kakariko. Usually.
Alright, so Stinger heading up Tower of Hera. We're gonna see these 2 chests. There's an arrow upgrade. Yay. Question mark. And the big chest contains a big 20. Oh.
Ice Palace key. Cool.
And if I'm not mistaken, that is literally the last location that Fluffy has available. So now we really need those take energies. Maybe some give please as well.
Yep. Slowly working in her mind now.
Moldorm for Stinger with the gold sword. This is usually pretty straightforward, just 2 slashes. There you go.
Unless Moldorm has it out for you, which he tends to do. Small key to Ganon down. Well, Pyramid Fairy's open now.
Yep.
So this is likely to lead him to that castle tower check. So
that's a great point. That is a very convenient route for him to do. Possible he might go to Eastern Palace, finish that up first. It's kind of a wash either way. They're both, like, you have to flute around anyway. He's also going to check Spike Cave while he's here. Alright, so Fluffy's working through the her memory, try to figure out where that item is going to be. Again, it's all the way back at the very beginning of the game in Kakariko Village. Fluffy went into the Thieves' Hut. It's typical for people to drop a bomb and, good lord, Stinger, drop a bomb, then go pick up the 4 chests, and then enter the bombed wall to go pick up the item in the back. Unfortunately, on her way out, she just forgot to go through that door and pick up that bow. And it's a required item for Pod, for EP, to get her Swamp Palace small key, which has more pod keys that she needs to finish that dungeon as well.
I believe the Skull Woods key, which had something required for progression. Or was that not end up being required for progression? I forget. Oh no, it had the Ether Medallion, didn't it?
Yes. Question mark?
Yeah, for Turtle Rock to get the small key to Desert, to get the big key to Hera. This seed has a lot of just random things all over the place.
It really does. Even Stinger, an hour 42 in, despite not getting blocked by that any similar problem to that bow issue, is still not in go mode because he is lacking his pod big key, which we do know where it is. It's at the end of a dumb fetch quest sequence from Aga Tower, and he also does not have the Bombos medallion, and we have no idea where that is still.
Could be Armos, could be Pyramid, could be... That's about it. Have we checked green pen? No, we can't because we don't have boots. We could have boots to get to finish. We still need the other Turtle Rock key, technically. I don't know. Need either some combination of boots plus 4th Turtle Rock key or Bombos to get progression at this point.
Alright, my apologies if I missed anything. I had to step away as my cat was apparently locked in my room. So.
Oofed. Also, we have not seen the Pod Big Key or Helma sword yet, to be fair. And Stinger can do those, or no, Stinger does not have the Pod Big Key yet. Flaffy might be attempting to do the bomb jump here. Or she's just checking to make sure she didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I think this is more of a survey to... she might be wondering if she is soft locked in pod. It is possible for that to happen, but I don't believe in this seed that it is possible for that to happen.
I believe it has something to do with killing Helma anyway, so...
Yeah.
See what is on the Armos.
This fight's so nice with Silver's dude.
There's
Bombos medallion.
Okay, so we are officially in no mode. So this will lead Stinger probably away from that chest.
This will probably send him directly to Misery Mire. And once he clears Mire, he will still not have the pod big key. and that will probably send him back to Overworld, which will likely send him to that Pyramid Fairy plus Aga Tower check that you talked about.
Looks like we are going to see a hammer jump attempt here by Flaafy. Whoop.
This is interesting. I don't. I haven't watched a lot of Flaafy's races in the past, so I don't know whether she customarily does this strat or not. I'm going to guess.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't believe she had, just judging by that she didn't try to do it earlier when she was in here.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not the kind of trick that she'll be able to figure out just by dropping a bomb and hoping for it to work.
Yeah.
Which leaves her back in the state of, where the heck is the thing? Where is it?
This is just super frustrating. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I think everybody goes through this when playing Rando at some point, often early on in your, Rando quote-unquote career, like your first couple of seeds, you'll have at least one where there's just some location that you don't even remember or know about, and you'll get screwed by it. But in this case, Fluffy's been playing for a while, but it still happens. It still happens to me. It still happens to lots of people. And unfortunately, It's just really rough when it does.
Something take our energy, Fluffy. All of our energy.
So we are seeing Meyer from Stinger for the first time, and so far he has found nothing good because, hey, there's nothing left for him to find, really. I guess he could find boots, that would be nice, but not required at this step.
So what things could Stinger find in here that would lead him further the wrong direction? Shovel, boots, especially boots.
Yeah, boots would definitely be the worst, lead him to a bunch of extra locations. Shovel would just kind of be annoying.
Shovel in the boots, huh?
Powder?
Powder would be also similar to shovel. Well, she's hovering 3. Looks like she went there. So what's she gonna do here? Okay, it's a good sign. She's checking things.
You already have it.
Is she gonna keep checking? No, she's not going up here. We might getting a pedestal check here, so at the very least.
There's 10 arrows in the big chest here. And a quick thanks to Doc Xavier. I scrolled all the way past already. Doc Xavier 22 for subscribing to Speed Gaming, supporting this channel that helps put on these awesome. Oh my lord!
Thank you for giving us the boots for stinking. Oh jeez, the other castle tower keys in the pedestal.
Oh lord! But we know that that Lumberjack Cave is So that's good.
It's just confirmed now that you have to double dip Aga Tower to get the key, not big key.
Oh
that's
my
so
lord!
Awful.
Oh, she is back to Kakariko. She's going to the thieves' hut.
This is the right way.
She remembered. This is fantastic. I'm so happy for her. I mean, she's gonna be really.
She just stops, like, really.
Oh gosh.
Really.
Yep.
As happy as I am for her, I just feel.
Yeah.
I would be so frustrated right now if I were.
It feels real bad. Oh man, but good for her remembering that location. That must have been incredibly hard to conjure up from an hour 50 ago what you did in Kakariko Village to remember what was going on there. So she remembered she's going to be able to finish Eastern right here. She's going to get her Bombos medallion. Then she's going to be able to go to Pod, get her swamp key. And so the entire seed's basically unlocked for her now.
Yep, this will probably actually lead her to Meyer first.
That's true, and she'll get those boots, which will at least be nice in just making it faster to finish the game. Here's a Vitreous fight.
Oh, she already had her portal here even, so never mind, it works out.
There was a Vitreous fight.
Huh? Vitreous? Where? I didn't see it.
I don't know. Some sort of eyeballs for some reason. Somebody.
I blinked. It happens.
Alright, well, that is 6 out of 7 crystals for Stinger. And now he is still lacking the Pod Big Key. So now, how long is it going to take him to find that fetch quest sequence? I'm guessing probably not very long, but we'll find out now.
There's only so many places left. Then again, he could be double dipping Turtle Rock here very easily.
He's getting his ice rod right now. Good news for Stinger is he does not have the 4th Turtle Rock key, and he did check the vanilla big key chest, which means he can't actually spend his time going to fight Trinex right now. Did Stinger check Graveyard Ledge earlier?
I don't believe he did.
That does explain this route then, most likely. He's going to combine that with the Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb.
Indeed. Very logical routing here with the boots in hand now.
Unfortunately, completely the wrong direction, but he has no way to know that.
He's following the logic. That's sometimes what you want to do.
Yep.
Usually what you want to do, and in this case, it's just not going to work out. And another map for Turtle Rock.
Oh boy. Yeah, sometimes the seed gives you breadcrumbs, but the breadcrumbs are leading you directly off a cliff.
Yeah, there's not even a breadcrumb to go to the Castle Tower. Because you literally get the Castle Tower key from Castle Tower. It's like Bo being in Eastern Palace.
Alright, Fluffy making quick work of Armos as well, collecting her Bombos medallion and her 4th crystal.
Well, she'll be heading to get her 5th from Meyer here soon, I imagine.
Will say that even though her recollection of where the bow was has probably come a little bit late, most likely for her to be able to make a comeback in this race, it's still really nice that she doesn't have to like forfeit a seed just because of not being able to remember that one location. And you really just don't want to have to forfeit. If you can at least finish the race, you can at least just feel good about that, because this seed was real troll. And I'm not just referring to the fact that she had a rough time because of the bow, like all the other stuff about it was pretty troll as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that she's really still doing a good attempt at this. She's really not, like, super far behind. Not as far behind as she could have been. Especially since she's going to be getting these keys here shortly.
Yep. Stinger's going to be doing his Pyramid Fairy into Aga play, most likely. So this should uncork him and allow him to finish up the seed in the near future.
Yep, barring a brain fart of his own, he will likely be checking the castle tower here. Waiting to see what that key was. It's a pod key.
Oh gosh. Well, theoretically, Fluffy can go finish the dungeon right now. Now she doesn't seem like she wants to. Looks like she would rather make sure that she checks all the chests. Doesn't want to hit one of those soft lock situations as possible if you go do the boss before finishing the chests.
Yeah, she's gonna go check probably the dark maze here and get that big chest.
Alright, and Stinger is heading into Aga momentarily here, so he will get his mushroom, start his fetch quest. Good times.
Good's a word for it, for sure. Maybe not the exact wording I would use, but... I think he will barely get sub 2 hour go mode, though.
God, what a seed, dude. What a seed.
Holding the side in frustration.
And I believe this will be our first check of this big chest here. We've not seen this yet.
Indeed.
Oh,
just
baby.
Some bombs.
Alright, Stinger. Getting his castle tower key. Now I gotta go back to castle tower.
The run. Just one of those times where you just kind of look at that and be like, really? And just go back there like, fine.
Alright, so flaafykins making her way over to Meyer. She's gonna open the way in, finish that dungeon up.
Yep, she's still missing the hierarchy big key, which is a bit of a convoluted trip, unfortunately. And that's most of what she's missing.
That came out of the right side of desert. And where was that small key from?
The Skullwood's big chest from... Or no, never mind. Skullwood's big chest wasn't anything. It was, that one was directly on the laser bridge in Turtle Rock.
God,
which you need ether from Swamp for. So, yeah.
God.
It's a convoluted trip.
What a video game. And there it is, at 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 7 seconds. StingerPA has entered Go mode with the Palace of Darkness big key, and he will now be able to finish the game.
Not quite all dungeons. He didn't quite finish Turtle Rock.
He could. He's got the fire rod. Oh no, wait,
he doesn't have
didn't
a
get the key.
key.
Oh no, what a shame.
Losky's probably in whatever it's called.
Helma's gonna drop it.
Or Helma, yeah.
Turns out this is an all dungeon seed. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, you have to have Quake to get up to get up the rest of the climb for your Ganon's Tower. And it's on Trinex. Or Sahasrara. Obviously.
Oh man. So Fluffy traversing Misery Mire, Stinger just going straight on into the boss of Pod. No reason to do anything else. He's good to go for the end of the game.
All the keys, so no worries about burning a key on the front there.
This kind of did turn into yet another 100% seed, just in like even more so for Stinger because I'm getting the boots, just checking, as far as I can tell, literally every Overworld location. I think the only dungeon location I can think of that he hasn't checked is the Thieves Town big chest. Aside from a couple in Pod here.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
So Stinger heading down to the dark basement rooms here on the way to King Helmasaur. He will deploy some of that New Rage Glitch's knowledge of strats to take out these these turtles. The sword beam is getting in the way there a little bit, but he's still fine.
Indeed. Flying off Fluffy. I have some issues here. Soon we'll be getting her boots. Very, very soon.
And the big chest and the other small chest there having nothing particularly useful.
Wasn't the boots in the big chest?
No, they were in the spike chest.
Oh, right.
Nice clean King Helmet kill for Stinger. What will we get as our reward here?
Something. Kind of.
Would have been funny if it were like a shuffle or something, but I'll take it. Alright, as is customary, ladies and gentlemen, we have all 7 crystals. We're on our way to Ganon's Tower, where, as you know, in the basement, there are 22 chests, and we do not care what they contain because we have the big key. Alright, cool. Good announcement. Trying to even remember where that came from. I think this was all the way back on the ledge in Zora. Meanwhile, Fluffy making her way into the last section of Misery Mire here. This block position trolling her slightly. There it is.
Okay, Stinger making his way up to Ganon's Tower for that final climb.
Fluffy's running a little bit low on hearts. I want to say she still has potions left over from that earlier trip.
Possibly 1, yeah.
May have a fairy too, although I think she ran out and they don't have the net, unfortunately.
Correct. So instead of playing the game of what's in the validation chest, let's play the game of, will Stinger even check the validation chest?
I like this game. Well, I know StingerPA, and I know that he is absolutely against memes of all types. So there's definitely no way he will check that chest.
But is not checking the chest a meme in and of itself?
Oh.
It's become almost a meme to bomb and or not even check that chest.
So this is a little bit scary here. Fluffy is actually out of potions. She's not have powder. All she's got is the cane here to kind of be safe. She does have the bone silver arrows, but this could still be scary. If any of these eyes manages to get a hit on her, or if she accidentally walks into the lightning, it's going to be a bad time.
You've got to watch that eye to come up. There it goes. Dodges it well. Good job.
Ooh boy, a little scary on that one.
Oh, no,
oh that's going to be another lightning burst.
Again. Oh, she's fine.
Okay, good play.
That's scary.
All right, Fluffy will... Yep. Oh, nice to switch to the mirror as well. And as she finishes that up, let's check out the left side where Stinger's going to be doing the gauntlet. It's always fun to watch the gauntlet done by anyone who runs no major glitches in this game, because this is something they work on a lot. And even though they do that, it can still troll them. That was still pretty good, though. A beautiful zero cycle Enmo from him as well. Stinger makes his way to the last floors of the tower. We're seeing Fluffy do pretty much the same thing that Stinger just did of checking those extra locations. What she's short right now is pod keys and the ether medallion, although she doesn't realize that yet.
Dang, it's already here. Okay, yep, Stinger is definitely making great time. I was focused on Fluffy.
No problem with these lamp rooms. No need for the small key from the mini helmas. No need for anything from those chests. He's just moving on to Moldorm 2.
With the mirror shield, it could be not useful at all.
He even already has red mail thanks to the checkerboard cave and the big chest of swamp. And speaking of swamp, that is where Fluffy seems to be going. Which is the correct play. Hey, I was right. He skipped it.
Yeah, I figured he would too. I believe it's words. I believe it's possible for him to get under 210 with this, but it'll be really close depending on how this Aga 2 fights goes.
Yeah, he has a very good Ganon. Very possible right now. The
Good start though. Yeah, 2-2-2, 3-rounder.
The
Very
triple
solid
double.
Aga 2 fight.
He's going to head into Ganon as Fluffy is going to head into Swamp. She will be getting the Ether Medallion pretty soon, and I believe some sort of big key was also in here.
That's the Skullwood's big key, probably.
Possibly. I don't remember at this point.
Not really any other one it could be.
Ganon with some words of late night wisdom.
Oh no, maybe this was the Turtle Rock big key. I forget. Okay, that's 2 phases down. Just gotta get 4 jumps here.
Alright, heart count is a little bit scary, but he looks like he's going to be fine. Not a whole lot of dangerous stuff left at this point.
As long as he doesn't hug him, it should be good.
This is a torch glitch, not going to be a huge problem, just a slight annoyance if he doesn't get the last 3 arrows in.
Looks like he did get that nearly pixel perfect swipe on Ganon before he jumped though.
Oh, that's hilarious. Alright, and this is the last arrow for Stinger.
Yeah, that's done there. He's just barely under 210.
Even with the fanfare, he will be able to come in. We'll get his official SRL time as he crosses the threshold. Right now, StingerPA finishes in first place with a time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 54 seconds. GG to him.
And he gets a He-Man song to escort him out.
And Fluffy with a brief pause there to wish him a GG as well. Looks like Stinger has popped into the chat. Let's grab him in here. Welcome in, Stinger. Congrats on your victory and finish in this this seed. What are your thoughts and stuff?
I'm still trying to escape the rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole.
I don't know how far down the rabbit hole I went, but I was praying the entire time I was going to find something at the end. I can't believe it actually worked out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
There were some things that occurred in that seed. Very unusual sequences. The pod big key was certainly something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna get Flaffy has indeed forfeit. We're gonna drag her in here to join the interview here.
I'm guessing that Flaffy went a very different route from me.
You could say that. Hi, Flaffy. Welcome.
Hi.
Chi, you put a good effort at it. We definitely appreciated it. And what do you think about that seed?
I don't know if you guys could tell that I was half asleep during that.
Yeah, I've been getting that myself.
I felt like I was doing great until I was twiddling down the items that I could find. And then I was like, what could I have possibly missed?
Yeah, your writing was actually looking really good for what you had. And even
Right.
outside of that, you're getting a lot of out-of-the-way things. Like, you got that pod key far earlier. That was actually Stinger's go mode, so...
Yeah, I didn't go to Castle Tower at all until late. Very, very, very late.
Yeah, the bow, not having the bow, like, routed me differently, but also not having the bow kind of screwed me over. I walked away from after bombing the bottom of Blind's hut, or in Kakariko, very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no other words for that. It hurts, right?
I've almost walked away from it once before. Like I never had that problem before of walking away from somewhere I was. And then once I almost did it, and this time I finally went the full way.
Yeah, I have complete sympathy for that because I have totally done that exact thing before. I do want to ask, when you got to the point where you had nothing left, how did you get back to that location? Like, how did you remember that it was there, basically?
Basically just that one time I had almost skipped it before. I was like, I went to check the pedestal just to see, but I knew I couldn't do it because I didn't have any medallions, so I couldn't do Turtle Rock. I was just like, I have to figure out something, and I figured out it was the way to Aghanim, but we didn't need that. And then I was like, what could I have? Because I was going over my map and over my map and over my map. I'm like, I remember getting that. I remember getting that. I remember getting that. I remember getting that. And then I'm like, did I skip something?
Did I not get that? Do I remember getting that? No, I've had that exact same conversation before, just going through my head like, I'm pretty sure I got that. I better go double check.
Yeah, I've forgotten that chest before just because I've gotten to the point not had bombs and just thought, oh, I'll get it later.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the I did bomb it and then left that annoys me the most.
Yep. I totally know and understand that feeling. I do
Yeah.
just want to say again, like, GG on the way that you routed the seed in general. Even without the bow, like, you were playing the rest of the seed very well, and then good job being able to recall that and get back there and get that item, because like you could have just been like, oh, I have nothing left and just forfeited already.
I was about to forfeit, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep on going. I know Stinger's gonna beat me, but I'm gonna keep on going, see how far I can get.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Kudos to that for sure. Like you
Mm-hmm.
you really aren't too far from finishing. You have basically one long chain to deal with
Yeah.
still, though.
Super long chain.
Is it?
Swamp to get to Turtle Rock to get
Oh,
the Desert
no.
Small Key off
Argus
of
has
Laser
ether.
Bridge. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Argus
no.
has ether.
Oh, if
Desert
that
Small
happened-
Key on Laser Bridge into was it Meyer Big Key in Desert?
Terra Big Key, but yeah,
Terra Big Key.
yeah.
That was it. Yeah, we already had
Yeah,
Meyer Big
I
Key.
got the boots, and I'm like, I am not getting that ice rod. I am not going into Turtle Rod or Turtle Rock.
The second I
I was like,
found the
I
boot,
was
I
like-
went and got the ice rod because I was expecting to have to go back there. I was looking for the small T-Rock key that I still needed.
Oh yeah, talking about Swamp, we had an interesting question we were gonna pose to you earlier. I noticed you went up to hit the push block first in Swamp instead of the Drowned Room chest.
Oh yeah, that
below.
was me forgetting to go down to the bottom too.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
There was also the save and quit out of the back chest room in Skull instead of getting caught by Wallmaster. I don't know if you recall that.
Yeah. I didn't have much fun in that room.
You did not.
I would assume that just classified as like a brain fart.
Basically, yeah.
Fun times. What a seed.
What a seed indeed.
Well,
I just
it's
Castle Tower just kills me every time. And and
I'm
you care to guess where the other
sorry,
Castle Tower key was, Stinger? I know
Hmm.
it's on pedestal.
Okay.
Yep.
I was actually very afraid halfway through the seed that pedestal was going to be required because I hadn't checked it. I didn't have any of the medallions at that point. And I knew that there was a possibility that either Bombos or Ether could end up on there. And that would be my access into Meyer or Turtle Rock to get my final go mode item.
Yeah.
fortunately it was not that bad.
I was well prepared for it.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's already really late, so
Yeah.
let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll go ahead and do one last question for each of you. And, for Stinger, I guess in general, like, do you take away any particular lessons from this seed? Was there anything that you learned other than maybe how dumb Agatower fetch quests can be?
Keysanity. It's just Keysanity. Having to dip into 2 pendant dungeons completely independently to go into the 3rd one to find what I need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Fluffy, pretty much the same question for you, aside from obviously forgetting an item, which is really just kind of one of those that's going to happen sometimes, but that's not really like a lesson that you need to learn per se. What are you going to take away from this scene?
So the lesson for me is it was late enough that I could have taken like a 4-hour nap and been refreshed. Instead, I decided to play Monster Hunter and just tough it out. So take a nap if you're gonna if you haven't had a lot of sleep.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to that on Friday. I'm gonna be waking up a bit earlier than I normally do for that. I'm hoping to not be too tired.
Cool. I mean, yeah, I agree. Sleep is really nice. Although I hear Monster Hunter is pretty nice too.
The draw was too strong.
But yeah, GG to Stinger again. Congrats on your victory. Fluffy, good luck on your upcoming matches as well, as it's Swiss, so you'll still have 3 more chances to play. And, it's been a pleasure commentating with you tonight, Freddie, and also thanks, of course, to Itsudemo for tracking for us. Really appreciate your efforts tonight. Freddie, feel free to have the final word.
Yeah, well done. Thank you for commentating with me, Villager. Thank you to both of our racers for putting on a great show once again. I know it was a bit late and sleepy. Things happen, but it was sure quite a scene to slog through. Thank you once again to everyone organizing the tournament for helping, just supporting the community and providing a great show for everyone to watch. And thank you to everyone watching for making this both worth doing and more fun doing. Thank you. This is Freddie, Vulgin, Fluffy, Stinger, and Itsudemo wishing you all a wonderful night.